I was giggling. I was loving that scene. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carolina, and in today's video, we're going to be mood reading for an entire week. Basically, today is the last day of May, and I have not completed my May TBR, but I have a brand new TBR for the month of June. So we're gonna see what we're gonna read, but let's focus on those TBRs. The first book that I know for sure I'm gonna read is The Persistence of Thorns. This is the last book in this series, and I'm really excited to continue. Basically, here we are gonna follow Caleb, which is a current character in this whole storyline. I don't know who his love interest is. We got a hint at the novella, but I've also been spoiled that it's not actually his love interest, so I don't know. I'm excited for that book. I don't have high expectations because the other books in that series were entertaining, but were not that good. But I have the audio for that. But another audiobook that I actually already have, and it's not on my physical TBR or on our May TBR or June. This is a trilogy, and I read the first one in May, and I want to read the second and the third one in June. So maybe that's also on our radar. I'm talking about the Anderson Brothers, I think that's the name, trilogy. Basically, the first one we follow Michael, I want to say, or maybe that's the second. I think the second one we are going to follow Michael. I don't remember the name from the first one. But yeah, it's not that good, but it's entertaining. It's an audiobook and it's quick and it's a series to complete, so yay. But the physical book that we are gonna for sure read is The Crown by Kiera. This is on my June TBR and this is definitely a priority. So yeah, let's read this and I'll update you when I have something to update you on. So the first book that we are starting is The Crown by Kiera. I don't have high expectations. I have expectations because The Heir, the book before this one, was incredible. I really enjoyed it. Compared to the other books in this series, I really enjoyed it. And I actually have expectations for this one, but I have also heard really bad reviews for this one specifically. And I'm scared, but we will see how it goes. And I'll try to read a chapter maybe before going to bed. I don't know, because I just want to start this book because I know once I start it, I'm going to get in the groove of things, but I'm a bit scared to start. I don't know why, but I am. So I just finished reading the first chapter of The Crown, and we pick up exactly where we left in The Heir. I really enjoyed that aspect because I was afraid that we were going to skip a few weeks, maybe months, and that does not happen. I love that. We start with a bang, definitely, because if you know how the other book ends, it wouldn't be any other way. But yeah, I'm very intrigued. I'm very satisfied with how this is going so far. And yeah, let's see where this story takes us. Hey guys, it's the next day and I have updates to give you. I decided to start the next book in the trilogy that I told you about. Basically, in this one, they are neighbors and they are really bickering. It's like almost enemies to lovers, but I know that a lot of people say that in romance is not really enemies to lovers, and I can agree because I'm literally 50% through this book and I can already see that he likes her and she wants to not like him. So that's the dynamic that we have going on. As I said, I'm 50% through this book, and as you saw, I read one chapter of The Crown yesterday. I have not read anything more. I just got back home. My plan for the evening is to read maybe more 5% of this book on my audiobook, getting ready for bed and cleaning a bit around my room. And my plans when I actually get into bed is to read one more chapter of this book. Other than that, I haven't done anything else. Oh, I have. I actually started the first chapter of The Persistence of Thorns. And from now, we don't have that much going on. We have been presented Caleb and our female main character, which is Heyy. I want to say that's how we pronounce it. And yeah, basically she moved to Caleb's town, as we saw, that small town, and she's his next door neighbor. So we have a neighbor theme going on in our reads. Basically, they are neighbors, and we don't know much after that. She moved there with her two little brothers. She's their guardian, and yeah, basically that's what we have. But we are reading 3 books at the same time, and there are 3 romances. We've read the first chapter of this, the first chapter of The Persistence of Thorns, and we are 15% through this book. So these are my updates, and hopefully before tomorrow I don't start the 4th book, okay? Let's pray for me, and let's hope this is not a sign that a reading slump is coming my way, because that would be the worst thing ever, because summer break literally begins in a week. Technically I'm on summer break, but I don't feel like it because I'm still trying to see if I failed any class, and if I did fail, I don't wanna jinx myself, okay? Hey guys, it's the next day, and I do have some decent updates to give you. Basically, I'm 60 pages into The Crown, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this book because now I already know the characters, I know everything, I know the gist of everything, and it's amazing actually being with them. I don't know who I want her to end up with. I don't know if I've talked about that, but I'm between 3 guys, and all of them would be amazing, but I hope she keeps them around. And on our Kubo book, I'm actually 35% through that book. Applause for me, because 20% of that book, more, I think 15% of that is actually good reading, okay? So yeah, that's what I did today. But my plan for the evening is to actually read 2 or more chapters of The Crown, and maybe 1 more chapter of this book, but I wouldn't count too much on that. The Persistence of Thorns hasn't not been updated. I only read 1 chapter, and it's no longer May, so technically it's not on our TBR, but I do want to continue that. But I feel like having 2 audiobooks going at the same time is not a thing for me, so I'm gonna finish 1 audiobook and then get into the next one. It's the next day, and I am almost finished with Neighbours with Benefits, and I want to chat with you guys about it a bit. This book is good, but I don't know if I'm loving it. I feel like the audiobook for the first one was better. I'm not really liking this dynamic. I like the relationship, but the girl, like, I did not know that I could agree with a man more than once in a single sentence, and that was amazing. I have not agreed with a man that much in a long time because she's just insufferable. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she managed to make him look so good when I know if I think too much about it, he's awful. Not awful, but like not that great. But she doubts him every second of the day. Everything he does, she doubts him. We are 80% through a book. If you're doubting him when we have like 50 pages left, maybe even less, I don't know how this is gonna go, because building the relationship like this does not make the end believable. That's the problem, because now when I see the end, I'm like, yeah, it's cute, but you know, I'm hoping to finish my paint because I don't know if I told you, but I have been audiobooking while painting a thing. I can show you at the end. It's nothing too good because I paint for the fun, not because I'm good at it. But yeah, I'm gonna finish doing that, and hopefully when I finished my paint, I finished the book too. So I don't remember the last time that I updated this video, but I know I have done some reading after that, so let's update you. So about The Crown, I'm 60 something percent of the way through it, which is page 188, chapter 23, and so far, do I have thoughts? Basically, this storyline is very fluid, the characters amazing, storyline amazing. Thank God nothing too bad has happened, because my heart couldn't take it, because I seriously am attached to these characters much more than the first 3 books, which is saying a lot. I've been loving seeing her journey, and I'm scared for who she's gonna pick. Because we are in the elite phase, okay? Since the beginning of this book, we are in the elite phase. What does that mean? I think that's less than 10 people. And 10 people is not a lot, you see? But in this book, we get a lot of them. And I miss them. Some of them that have left, I miss them already. And I would love for something that she talks about here to actually be truth. If this book was real, I would love, because she is... I don't think I'm gonna find where she talks about it, but there was a part in this book where she says basically that she wishes all of them could just spend summer together and vacation together, because that's it. She's gonna miss them. Like, even if they are not ideal to be her husband, she's gonna miss them still. And that's the same thing with me. Like, I'm gonna miss them. I would love a little novella where they all get together to remember the old times in like 50 years after that. I would love that. So far, I'm scared for who she's gonna pick, but I have a favorite. I'm not going to share with you, but I'm gonna share at the end if she ends up with him, because if you wanna know my thoughts, that's as close as you will get. But at the same time, if she does not pick who I want, I will be happy, because I love them all. There were 2 or 3 that I didn't like, but she would never pick them. Like, we saw that they were a red walking flag, so she would never pick them. Those are my updates for this book. My plans for today is to actually finish this, because I have less than 100 pages left, so I think that's doable for today. I want to update you on my Kobo read, which is Neighbours with Benefits by Marissa Clarke. I'm thinking on giving this book 3 stars, simply because it's as good as the first one. Yes, the audiobook was not as good. I would not recommend the audiobook for this one. The first one, yes. This one, no. But neither were something amazing, but I would still recommend them if you want to. This was a fun, light read, but at the same time, it wasn't so fun. The first one was funnier, because Mia, the female main character, insufferable. I don't know who she thought she is, because I don't like her. I hate every decision she makes. She's unpredictable. She's insane. She doesn't make sense. She contradicts herself. I hate it. I hate it all. And she made Michael look so good by comparison. But if you analyze him, like the first scene we get of Michael, I want to say one of the first scenes we get is him living therapy. And all that is the first image we get of him. If we ignore the first book, that image is like, yeah, he's working on himself. What is she doing? Ignoring her problems and pretending everything is okay. And that's like, what are you doing with your life, you know? First time they meet, it's cute. Yes, that's good. We have the one bed trope here. We have a lot of cutesy little tropes here. Yes, it's a good book. Yes, it's meh. It's just not that good. And it was a bit boring at times. The whole plot with her ex, I love that. Love that. And the chapter where he goes to her door, it's amazing, because Michael there was the man, okay? And I want to say in chapter 18, 17, if you have read this book, where the ex thing he does and everyone goes with him, that scene was amazing. I was giggling. I was loving that scene, because I was like, yes, that's it. That's what you need, okay? So yeah, I'll definitely be finishing this series, but simply because it's short, I have the audiobook and I'm only missing 1 book. Because if it was not, it would probably be a DNF. Would I recommend it? If you need a fun audiobook, yeah. If you want a fun time, yes. If you want to finish a book in 1 sitting, yes. Other than that, there are better books out there. Guys, this is the end of today's video. Let's wrap it up. I ended up finishing The Crown by Kiera. My thoughts on this book. I don't have a set rating. I'm in between a 3 stars, 3.75, 4 stars. I'm not sure, because I enjoyed following her character and everything about the storyline. And oh my god, I loved who she ended up with, if you want to know. and I liked the ending, but I felt like it was a bit rushed, and this whole book was a tiny bit too short for me. I wanted more, and the other books were longer, so I was a bit surprised when this book just ended. And yeah, I'm excited to read the next book, which is just a bunch of novellas in the book. But I'm excited to see who the novellas are about, if we are going to follow any characters that are in this story, or it's just the main trilogy. I don't remember, I'm not sure. I would recommend this series overall, and it makes me so sad to think that some people just stop after the one, because everyone says that The Heir and The Crown are not her best books. And oh my god, I loved these two much more than the first three books. I'm gonna miss these characters. This selection was so much better, and I loved everything about it. I would recommend this series overall, and I'm excited to continue with the last book. Then we finished Neighbours with Benefits by Marissa Clarke, and that was a 3-star book. Nothing too amazing, nothing too incredible, nothing new, but it was a quick, fun, easy read, and I would recommend. The storyline was good. I didn't enjoy certain aspects of it, but that's why it's a 3 stars and not higher. But yeah, I enjoyed the book for what it was. It was a quick time. It flew by, to be completely honest, and I'm excited to finish this series with the third book, which is about Chance, the younger brother, I want to say, and I'm excited for that because I read the synopsis for his book, and that sounds good. Like, that sounds like a trope I'm gonna eat. But I don't know if I'm gonna include it in a vlog, but it's gonna be in my June wrap-up for sure. Then I didn't talk too much about The Persistence of Thorns by Michaela Smalser. I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I didn't talk too much because I only ended up reading 20% of that book. But so far, my thoughts have not changed. This sounds like a fun time. We follow the characters we know all too well, except the female main character, which is new, and her whole dynamic, which comes with her family, her 2 younger brothers. That dynamic is going to be fun to follow more. But yeah, basically, we follow... I only think we got 1 Caleb POV, but it's amazing. It was an amazing chapter. And yeah, we saw the dynamic with the family, and they're helping, and the city helping her, and that's great. That's so cute. That's why we follow these characters. And yeah, I'm excited to see more of that book. I'm excited to continue, and I don't think I'm gonna be including that in any vlog, but it's going to be again in my June wrap-up. So yeah guys, this is the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, anything, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye!